Have you ever felt something was off in a relationship but couldn't quite explain it? Like an invisible weight in your chest or a whisper in the back of your mind telling you, this doesn't feel right. Let me tell you something. I've learned this from helping women over the years. That gut feeling is not random. It's your intuition trying to protect you. Today, we're diving deep into the early warning signs of abusive partners, the subtle red flags that, when ignored, can turn into something far worse. These signs aren't always obvious, but people like this, they always show their hand. It's just up to us to notice. Because here's the truth: the greatest act of self love is trusting yourself when no one else is looking out for you. So let's start with that gut feeling. You know the one I'm talking about. Maybe you're sitting across the table from someone who seems a little too perfect, but something about the way they ask, where you been, feels off. Or maybe it's a joke that stings just a little too much, and when you try and bring it up, they brush it off. You tell yourself, I'm overreacting, or they didn't mean it like that. But deep down, you feel it. Your gut is your compass. It knows what your heart refuses to see. Every single woman I've helped leave a toxic relationship has said the same thing. I felt it from the start, but I talked myself out of it. Here's a tip, guys: don't talk yourself out of it. Trust yourself. Now, let's break it down. These are the signs that might seem small at first, but when you look back, they're breadcrumbs that lead to control, manipulation, and, well, quite clearly, sometimes abuse. First red flag: love bombing. They sweep you off your feet, constant attention, compliments, or texts. Like, I've never felt this way about anyone before. Feels like a fairy tale, but what they're really doing is creating a dependency. Right? They come on a little too strong, too much, too fast. They seem a little too perfect. But there's something about that energy that just doesn't feel right. It's way too much. In fact, for me, that's always turned me off. I don't like it because it's either a precursor to someone a little too clingy for me, and or it's a recipe for abuse. Next one: isolation. Listen, it starts small. They ask why you need to see your friends so much. They make you feel guilty for prioritizing family time. And slowly your world shrinks until it's just you and them. It's a very good tactic, you guys. Please notice it. A healthy relationship has two parts: there's your time together, there's your time apart. And there's no need to let go of your social life and your friends and things like this. You know, it's a healthy balance. And someone that wants to take away that time and isolate you so that you feel like there's no one else in the world you can turn to, this tends to be a recipe for disaster, especially if they're starting to show you these other signs. All right. Jealousy disguised as love. They say things like, I just don't trust other people, or I get this way because I care. But let me explain something to you guys really fast, all right? Real love doesn't come with accusations, control, or mistrust. Love and trust go hand in hand. So to say stupid phrases like that, I do call them stupid phrases because I really wish somebody would try that with me. Just doesn't work, right? No. You either trust me or you don't. And I don't give people reasons not to. So absolutely wouldn't put up with this type of behavior. It just doesn't work for me. All right. And you should be careful of it too, because pretty soon they start controlling what you're wearing, start accusing you of going here left and right, and little things like this. Love just doesn't, that's not love, it's abuse. Pay attention. Next one is gaslighting. You try and talk about how you feel, and they say, that didn't happen. or you're being dramatic, or you're oversensitive, or something along those lines to diminish how you feel and not give voice or even bother to hear what you're saying. This is gaslighting. And over time, you start to question your reality and your sanity. Please don't let it get to that point. Pay attention. A real relationship is going to hear what you have to say. If they don't like it at first, at least, even if they have a little bit of a reaction, at least they come back and they talk about it and they want to work it out. That's not gaslighting. At least that's somebody that's trying to work it out. But if they literally dismiss everything you say and you don't have an opportunity to express yourself, or even, this type of thing erodes at your sense of who you are. And for me, as a love expert, I'm going to tell you one thing. I would rather lose them than myself. So this is totally unacceptable. And perhaps that's the sort of thing I need to talk about more, is to help women understand the reasons why things go so sour and what to look out for and this sort of thing, which is why I'm having this discussion, right? Don't let it get to the point where you're questioning your sanity. You don't have space to be who you are. That's not love. In fact, love is being unapologetically yourself and being loved for it. It's very simple. All right. Next red flag, disrespecting boundaries. Maybe you've said no to something and they keep pushing anyway. Whether it's a small request or something more serious, they don't take no for an answer. Again, these little pushes. What I find with relationships and people that are testing things out is they're like little children sometimes. They want to see how much they can get away with. Or if they're going to be abusers, they start pushing that line early on, and then it gets far worse later. But like I said, they always show their hands, so pay attention. Here's the big one: inconsistent behavior. One day they're sweet and loving, the next day they're cold, distant, and angry. You're left walking on eggshells, trying to keep the peace. Healthy love isn't a guessing game, and also understand that this type of inconsistent behavior causes an addiction in people. You keep waiting for the highs, and so you end up feeling like you're addicted to, I don't know, heroin or meth or something, like something that addictive. Relationships can be addictive too, and when people start behaving like this, they are already creating that up and down dopamine and inconsistent rush in your brain where you start craving someone because you're not sure what you're going to get next. To be very careful with this type of behavior. If it's not consistent, you don't want it. I can't stress this enough. Listen, if you love yourself a lot, and that's what is required of you to have a healthy relationship, none of these things fly. They should be part of your boundaries, and you should uphold them before someone forces you to let them go. Trust me, the right type of relationship respects everything I just said. All right. And here's where it's get tricky. All right. Why we talk ourselves out of these red flags. I know. We want to believe in love. We tell ourselves, no one's perfect, or they're just stressed. Here's the thing: real love doesn't feel heavy, it doesn't make you question your worth or leave you doubting yourself. In fact, if it's not adding value and helping you see yourself as a greater version of yourself, that's probably not the right relationship for you. And if it's making you doubt and question your worth, I mean, that's all fine and dandy for your inner work. And if you use it for that purpose, then great. But don't hold on to something that isn't serving you, because losing yourself to keep someone is far worse. I know I sound like my mama right now, but I can't help it. I was raised this way. When someone shows you who they are, believe them. Please believe them. People like this show their hand, and the question is, are you paying attention? Now, if you're seeing these signs, whether it's in your life or someone you love, Here's what to do. First things first, trust your gut. Your instincts are never wrong, and if something feels off, it probably is. Next, talk to someone you trust. Friend, family member, even a coach like me can offer perspectives when you feel stuck. Third, set boundaries immediately. Healthy people respect boundaries. Unhealthy ones will try to break them. Pay attention to the signs. Fourth, exit safely. If things escalate or you feel unsafe, make a plan to leave. Seek help from friends, professionals, organizations that specialize in this kind of support, but get out. Get out before it's too late. I can't say that enough. Before we wrap up, I want to say this. You're not alone. If anything I've shared today resonated with you, know that you don't have to go through this alone. There are people who care, friends, family, or even someone like me, like I said, who's here to listen and support you. If you're ready to take a step towards self love, reclaiming your power, I have free resources, meditations that can help you start. You don't have to have it all figured out right now. Just know that you deserve to feel safe, cherished, and whole. Your healing matters, and together we can rewrite your love story. This message is for anybody that I've helped in the past, and for those of you that trust me. Those of you know who I'm writing this for. I want you to know that I love you with every fiber of my being, and that I will always be here to support. And for any of you that are finding yourselves in this situation, please find help. Please get out. And if I can be of service, don't hesitate to reach out. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode.